Here we go again. For those that have missed it, I'm not sure how you can miss it if you're on social media at all with anybody that knows anime. Yes, Netflix is at it again. Apparently, they have this big list of all these really popular and beloved series, and they're just going down the list and just hitting every one of them. Here's One Piece doing live action, Death Note doing a second live action, and now Yu Yu Hakusho. Oh yeah, Cowboy Bebop, that happened too. I almost forgot about that, but yes, Netflix has officially at this point announced that apparently it was leaked before, I completely missed it apparently, but yeah, they're doing a Yu Yu Hakusho live action. Thank you. It's not all bad news. Let me be clear, it's not all bad news. It's really easy to knee-jerk reaction, freak out about something like this, and just say, Netflix, you're terrible. I technically did by posting on Twitter, but there's one thing that could possibly save this particular adaptation, and that is that it's not technically Netflix working on it. They're the ones that are working on it. They're the ones that I'm assuming paying for it. It's a Netflix exclusive. They're going to be having it streaming on their platform worldwide in December of 2023, but there's more behind this, and that is that pretty much everybody working on it is from Japan. We have essentially this whole collaboration, this agreement that Netflix made with Toho Studios way last year. This is their first project they're going to be doing, so it's using Toho Studios. Production is by Robot, which they've done the live-action adaptation in Japan, again, of Assassination Classroom, March Comes in Like a Lion, and Terraformars. So, again, this is technically Japan making it, not necessarily Netflix. This isn't a Western production of this series, so that is the one nice thing about it. Now, granted, many people would argue, and I would personally agree, live actions suck in general. Just, no matter who's doing it, Netflix in the West with some Hollywood studio or some third-rate studio or some indie studio or somebody in Japan, live actions of anime, unless it's like a rom-com or something like that, just doesn't translate well. And especially when you're dealing with something like Yu Yu Hakusho with a guy shooting bolts out of his fingers, it's not going to look good. It's just not going to look good. Now, for those that aren't familiar with what Yu Yu Hakusho is a series that got an anime adaptation, and it aired in the West for quite a while. It's one of those ones that's kind of a beloved childhood memory for a lot of people. I mean, that's the whole argument that was made about, Death Note and Cowboy Bebop and so many other franchises that are being kind of butchered these days. Trigun with the orange. That's not necessarily butchered. I'm just saying another example of the childhood coming back. But yeah, this is obviously by Toshihiro Togashi, who is known for doing Hunter x Hunter. This is the original mangaka that did this work. So it's got a lot of people that really love it. I mean, it's not it may not hold up to today's age, but it was still a really fantastic series back in the day. This guy that pretty much dies trying to save somebody, and then he becomes a spirit person that can fight in this tournament and everything to regain his mortality. It's a really fun little series, has some little heartwarming moments in there. It's just a fun little battler. But again, going back to who's working on this, we have the director Takumi Kitamura, who is known for doing the live action adaptation of I Want to Eat Your Pancreas and Tokyo Revengers. I want to say that the two of those didn't do too bad. We have the script also being done by Tatsuro Mishima, who I don't see any kind of credits to anime-related stuff. He might have done a lot of TV stuff or movies. But yeah, like I said before, it's not that Netflix in America is doing a Yu Yu Hakusho, which is easy for a lot of people to jump on. This is going to be an actual production in Japan. But again, it goes back to the argument of why is Netflix so dead set on creating adaptations of every single anime out there? It just doesn't make sense to me. Why? The only thing I can assume is that it's a pre-established franchise, it has a fandom, and it's cheap to put together. Because they're obviously not skilled enough to create their own content, and additionally, creating new content comes with risk because people don't know what that property is. Whereas saying, we have a Yu Yu Hakusho adaptation, they can at least trust in the idea that they'll at least get that fandom to watch it. And I think that's what they're banking on. That's what they're banking on with One Piece. That's what they're banking on another Death Note, is in a pre-established franchise that people grab onto and that possibly it's cheap to grab the license for. The troubling thing that comes from that is that it seems like that's all they're doing anymore. Now, granted, they do television stuff, they do their own movie stuff, but the stuff that we catch eyes on is these anime live-action adaptations. or technically manga, but you get what I mean. But at any rate, we'll see what comes of it, but for now, I'm going to have zero expectations for it. At least, I have more expectations for it than I would, again, like I said, a Western production, but it's probably going to be super cheesy, even though it's being done by, Toho Studios and Robot. Because again, even with Japanese live-action adaptations, they're not too great. They're better than Western adaptations of anime, that's for damn sure, but at least with, School Live, it was okay. I actually believe that Death Note is one of the best live-action adaptations of an anime or manga that I've actually seen. And like I said before, there are some rom-coms and stuff that just kind of translate well. It's kind of when you get into the supernatural, you get into the CGI stuff, that's where they have issues. Even though, again, I would say that Death Note's live-action, Ryuk didn't look too bad. But anyways, mark your calendars for December of 2023. It's gonna be a doozy. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully got you guys informed on what's coming up. I know that a lot of people are just kind of jumping on saying that Netflix is making it in the West, and that's kind of the assumption that a lot of people will have. But this is actually a Japanese production that's being done, not a Western production. But again, it is technically funded by Netflix. I'll be curious if they're going to do it in Japanese. I would assume so because, again, this is being done in Japan, and it's got a lot of Japanese actors that are going to be working on it. This isn't Western actors or anything. But who knows? Maybe this production, Netflix doing this, maybe the one plus side that can come from this announcement is that having this whole thing, the stirring back up of Yu Yu Hakusho, the idea that Netflix is doing this live action thing, Toho Studios working on it and everything, will re-spur the fandom and we can get a readaptation. There's a possibility that this can create some sort of fandom or re-stir the fandom and market the idea of having some studio pick it up and do a full anime readaptation of Yu Yu Hakusho. I mean, that is the possibility here. Some eyes, some attention to an old property could benefit the franchise. So call me crazy, but I'll keep some positivity to come from this whole situation. Something to come from this whole situation. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure to hit that like button down below. Comment. Let me know what you think. And are you scared here? Is this a franchise that you beloved? Let me know in the comments down below. I did enjoy it when I watched it. I wish that we got more. It really did feel, if I remember correctly, like it just dropped off. But at any rate, if you're new to the channel, I hope that I earn your subscription so you can get all my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, episode-by-episode impressions of certain shows. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support the channel more, we have a Patreon link, a tips link, and a super thanks button down below. I appreciate everybody that does, and y'all take care.